54. All right, hello, welcome back. So let's do another one. Let's do 54 in the textbook, and that says we have cosine x over 1 minus sine x equals secant x plus tan x. Okay, so now this one, kind of hard to tell which side is simpler, okay? I'm gonna go ahead, I just have this prejudice, I use the left-hand side first. Not a prejudice, just a predisposition. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the left-hand side first. And the reason is, no reason really. So what I'm gonna do though, is I see automatically, since I have this 1 minus sine of x, I'm gonna automatically be like, you know what, that would really be better if it was 1 minus sine squared, right? So let's just go ahead and not pretend it is, but let's make it so it is. So I'm gonna multiply by 1 plus sine x over 1 plus sine x on the top and bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna get cosine x times 1 plus sine x over, now on the denominator, I'm just going to get 1 minus sine squared of x. Okay, but 1 minus sine squared is cosine squared. Right? If I use cosine squared x plus sine squared x equals 1 is the same as cosine squared of x is 1 minus sine squared of x. Okay, so I'm going to have cosine x 1 plus sine x over cosine squared of x. So that's going to be simple calculation now. That's nothing crazy. That's going to be 1 plus sine x over cosine x. And that's, let's do one more step. 1 over cosine x plus sine x over cosine x. And that is our final right-hand side. Okay. All right. Give you guys a second to look that over. Of course, you have pause buttons. Okay. So now, let's take a look at how this sort of problem shows up in MyLabs Plus. This one's similar. Okay. Now, of course, because they're jerks or whatever, they did it the opposite way. They started from the tan u minus secant u. Still no problem. Okay, we can still do the same thing. So let's do that. So let's take tan u minus secant u is sine u over cosine u minus 1 over cosine u. Okay, let's just make sure that everyone does that. So they only give us 3 answers. And B is already gone, right? Tangent is sine over cosine, not cosine over sine. Okay, now we're going to go ahead. Let's see what else we can do. Well, we're going to go ahead and write that as one thing. So we're going to write that as sine u minus 1 over cosine of u. Okay, let's see. All these do that. However, do they all multiply by 1? They do all multiply by 1. Now, what is it that we're going to multiply by? We want to multiply. We want to sort of get rid of this sine u minus u as being, we want to multiply that by sine u plus u, right? In order so that we get sine squared of u minus 1. Similar to what we did in the other side. Make that a little smaller. Okay, so let's multiply that by sine u plus 1 over sine u plus 1. Remember, we want to get that sine squared of u minus 1. So we get sine squared of u minus 1 over cosine u times sine u plus 1. Okay, so far so good. Now that sine squared of u minus 1, that's the negative of cosine squared. Okay. This cosine cancels with that, so we get, let me make this still a little smaller. This becomes negative cosine of u over sine u plus 1. Okay, and that's what we have here. Okay, so let's make sure, let's check which ones do that. So between A and C, these two steps are still the same. Now, when we went to the next step, when we multiplied, we got sine squared of u minus 1. This sine squared of u plus 1 is wrong. Okay, here we get the sine squared of u minus 1. So A is now out, and that means we are left with C. Let's just make sure that they finish it right. So the cosine squared of u, good. That's going to cancel with that. We're good. Okay. All right. I'll see y'all in the next video.